Hi, this is Brett from the Sauna Detox with Niacin Facebook group. Wanted to talk today about a concept that I've known about for a long time, but is really, really important. So it's called toxic load. And what that refers to is your overall burden of toxins. And to help illustrate this, I have drawn a hybrid of a snowman and a stick figure. So you can see that I have great artistic talent from my drawing there, but it'll serve to be very, very useful. So what happens is early on in life, we're born, and from our mothers, because they had toxins in them, we get breast milk that the Environmental Working Group has proven has like 400 or 600 different chemicals in it. And so we get some chemicals from that. And those chemicals, those toxins, store in our fat. And as we go through life, we experience things. If they use baby lotion or they didn't use non-toxic laundry detergent, then what happens is just over time, more and more toxins store in our fat, and it increases our toxic load. And that is the issue: is toxic load, because it's not a dramatic thing. It doesn't happen all at once, and so it's subtle. And that's what makes it so insidious, is people are like, I just don't feel very good anymore. And they don't know why. And they think, oh, it must be this, it must be that. They try to find one little thing that it is. But the reality is it's toxic load. So just take an average person's day. And they get up in the morning and they shower. And they don't have a shower filter, which you should have. And they shower in chlorinated water. So some toxins get absorbed in the body from that. And again, these toxins store in our fat. Now, you might be asking, well, now wait a minute, Brett. Don't we have detoxification organs? I mean, can't we just detoxify that stuff? Well, I'll tell you this. Yes, you can detoxify some of it. But these petrochemicals that are in our environment have only been around for less than 100 years. And we as a species have been around for thousands of years, if not millions of years. And so our bodies were never designed or adapted to detoxify these insidious petrochemicals, especially in the levels that we are exposed to them today, especially when we have a nutrient deficient diet and we're stressed and all these other things going on. So for most people, I mean, I would say all people, in fact, even indigenous people, the Alaska Eskimos, they've tested their bloodstream and they have tons of toxins from the fish that they eat, even though they live a fairly low stress lifestyle compared to some modern lifestyles from one point of view. So the average person gets up, take a shower, put on their clothing, which has toxic chemicals from the laundry soap in it, and then they go to work. Maybe they spray on some perfume, or maybe they breathe some perfume while they're at work, and some air fresheners. You walk down the detergent aisle at the grocery store, and you breathe that stuff in, and you have more and more toxic burden. Now, you don't feel much different than you did the day before, just like smoking cigarettes. You know, nothing really bad happens the first day. But day after day after day, toxins accumulate, and then they gradually have an effect. So the next thing is that somebody says, well, they make a compromise in their diet that day, and they eat a few foods that aren't organic. And so there's some pesticides, some herbicides, who knows what on there, and those bioaccumulate. So all these toxins accumulate, and then we breathe some polluted air. Now that's one day. So multiply that times 365, and then multiply that times how old you are, and then you can see that you're just going to have a huge body burden of toxins. And then what happens? Somebody says, well, I have chronic fatigue syndrome, or the mercury poisoning is what caused it, or it's the Lyme toxin, or it's the this, or it's the that. It's the overall toxic load that is the biggest, most important thing to address. Because once you are able to decrease that toxic load by doing the sauna detox with niacin protocol, you're not going to get it all, but you get most of it. You can see how you're going to feel so much better. So what that does is as you probably know by now, the sauna detox with niacin gets rid of the toxins from your fat. And it gets rid of literally decades worth of toxins. And these toxins that we're talking about that have accumulated, most of them, the petrochemical ones, are estrogen-based, so they disrupt hormones, which affects everything, is mood, energy, sleep, all of those things. And then some of the other chemicals, they just affect all sorts of different things. I'm trying to read my my sloppy notes here. They affect our sleep. They also affect your immune system because it's a constant body burden. Now, here's one thing to think about: is those toxins that are stored in the fat, they're not hermetically sealed in the fat. What happens is every time you're in between meals, every time you're sleeping at night, you're burning fat. And so all those decades worth of toxins that are built up in your fat, they get burned and then they get dumped back in your bloodstream. Then your liver goes to process it, but it's overwhelmed, so it stores them back in the fat. And so it's this vicious cycle. And so you might even live a clean, organic, great lifestyle now. Thing is, I mean, that's great. And you should do that. Congratulations if you're doing that. However, if you still have stuff from the sodas that you drank 20 years ago, or the secondhand smoke or cigarette smoke or whatever choices were made decades ago, those are still going through your bloodstream. So that's why the Sauna Detox with Niacin protocol is the protocol that everybody needs to do, because it's foundational because of the toxic load that everyone's carrying. Imagine losing 30 pounds of weight or 60 pounds of weight. You can imagine how much lighter you'd feel. Well, it's the same with our toxic load. When you get rid of your toxic load by doing the Sauna Detox with Niacin protocol, your hormones balance. And some people have huge revelations immediately. Other people, it just affects their overall health, just like somebody quitting smoking. They feel a lot better over time. But either way, it's a foundational thing that living in our polluted society, you must do to have optimal health. And that's why I'm so excited about sharing this with as many people as possible. So I'd love to hear your comments below about the concept of toxic load, or anything about the Sauna Detox with Niacin protocol.